Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, a local doctor sets off a social media storm of criticism and agreement as he claims the coronavirus isn't as serious as researchers once feared and that stay-at-home orders are hurting us. We want to know what you think. This morning, your chance to weigh in.
A local Starbucks temporarily shuts down after an employee tests positive. What we know about the case and what the store is doing to keep customers and other workers safe.
And we sit down with a former local high school football standout expected to be a top pick in tonight's NFL draft. This is Thursday, April 23rd, 2020. Good morning. Great to have you all with us this morning. I'm Maddie Jansen coming to you from my home here in Tehachapi. Alex Fisher in downtown Bakersfield, Kevin Trett in southwest Bakersfield. Yeah, pretty excited to hear this story this morning. Taylor Schaub has sat down with this former Liberty High Patriot, and he's going to tell us all about what's expected to happen tonight.
Yeah, and absolutely. And you know, this draft is going to be different from in years past, drastically different because of everything that's going on right now with the coronavirus. So it should be very interesting to see how it all plays out. We'll get to that story in just a bit. Should be very interesting. But first, we're talking about your forecast on this Thursday, and it is Friday Junior, and we're just loving that the weekend is in view. Kev?
The weekend's in view and warmer temperatures are on the way as well. Let's talk about yesterday because we're starting to see the temperatures gradually start to come up, and that's going to continue as we go throughout the next few days. In terms of our high temperature yesterday, it was 80 degrees in Bakersfield. Normally we should be at 77 this time of year. 98, the record set back in 2012. Let's take a look at the skies, and there's nothing to show you this morning, and we are going to be in the clear. 62 degrees to start off right now with an east wind at 3 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast, you can see temperatures climbing into the 70s right around 11 o'clock. And by 5 o'clock, we should be right near 82. Into the mountains, we've got 52 degrees in Tehachapi. The one thing to note here is the wind. We've got a light breeze right now out of the west at 12 miles per hour. And you take a look at the current winds, and the strongest of them over the Grapevine right now, and again through the 58 heading into the desert areas. We do have a wind advisory that we have posted for the Kern County mountain and desert locations through 11 o'clock tonight. So keep that in mind if you're going to be traveling in any of these areas. And here's a look at the mountain forecast for today, starting out in the 50s, and then we rise into the mid-60s this afternoon. The temperatures continue to climb. We'll talk much more about that coming up in just a little bit. For now, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. It is 5:03 now, and in just a few hours, we expect an update from Kern Public Health on the number of coronavirus cases here locally. As of last night, there are nearly 700 cases of COVID-19. 4 people have died from the virus. 21 people are in the hospital, and 293 people have made full recoveries. Now, taking a look at pending tests, nearly 5,000 tests have come back negative, but around 3,600 tests are still pending. Here's a look at where these cases are spread across Kern County. The area known as Bakersfield East, which includes Lamont and Arvin, has the most cases, but it also has the biggest population by more than 100,000 people.
A local Starbucks temporarily closed its doors after an employee was diagnosed with COVID-19. A spokesperson for Starbucks says the employee works at the Starbucks at Stockdale Highway and Allen Road. The worker got the coronavirus but was asymptomatic and is now self-isolating at home. The company says once it learned about the diagnosis, the store was closed so a deep cleaning could be done. Other employees who were in contact with the affected worker are also under a recommended 14-day isolation. The store plans to reopen tomorrow.
Of the more than 690 people who have had COVID-19 in Kern County, only 21 are hospitalized. And while there's a lot of evidence that coronavirus is peaking in Kern County, one model paints a frightening scenario where the peak doesn't hit for another 5 months. At Tuesday's Board of Supervisors meeting, they approved $2 million to fund an alternative care site at the Kern County Fairgrounds to be used to treat coronavirus patients if Kern hospitals go more than 40% over their limits. Public Health Director Matthew Constantine said if we social distance 40% of the time, a statewide model suggests we won't peak until early October and will far exceed our hospital capacity. But if we improve our social distancing just a little, the model indicates that the Fairground Hospital will not be needed at all.
If we increase social distancing to 50%, meaning half of the time you take efforts to distance yourself, those numbers become manageable, and in fact, they stay within the limits of the hospital as it stands today.
Now, this is just one model. Supervisors were openly skeptical of the estimates, but Constantine told them not preparing would be catastrophic if the estimates proved accurate, and the county was not prepared. He says the main takeaway is to continue to social distance.
Well, from one estimate to another, it's clear there are a lot of different opinions on when it's safe and smart to reopen the economy and lift those stay-at-home mandates. Two doctors are getting a lot of heat on social media for claiming Kern County should open immediately.
As I shelter in place, my immune system drops. You keep me there for months, it drops more.
Directors Dan Erickson and Artin Masihi say that sheltering in place is doing more harm than good. They are the owners of Kern's largest testing site, Accelerated Urgent Care. They say as long as you're not showing symptoms, you should be able to return to work, and kids should be able to go back to school. They claim the death rate has remained consistently low, similar to the flu, but their numbers don't agree with stats from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. 34,200 people died from the flu during the 2018 to 2019 season, a death rate of 0.01%. So far, more than 46,000 people have died from the new coronavirus, a death rate of 5.6%. Erickson and Masihi say they're also concerned about domestic effects of staying at home.
The secondary effects, the child abuse, alcoholism, loss of revenue, all these are, in our opinion, a significantly more detrimental thing to society than a virus that is proven similar in nature to the seasonal flu we have every year. We need to still shelter in place. Our answer is emphatically no. Do we need businesses to be shut down? Emphatically no.
It's important to note their claims are based on data from the past 2 months, not long-term scientific studies.
We reached out to Kern Public Health about Dr. Erickson and Dr. Masihi's recommendations. They sent us a statement that says, in part, quote, "In our ongoing effort to mitigate the impacts of COVID-19 on our residents and healthcare system, we continue to adhere to the guidance issued by Governor Newsom regarding the stay-at-home order." They also listed the following recommendations: to stay at home except for essential needs, practice social distancing, wash hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, avoid touching eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands, cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue or your elbow, and avoid close contact with people who are sick. You should also keep in mind to stay away from work, school, or other people if you are sick. Wear face coverings while in public if you are unable to maintain social distancing.
And that's the subject of today's 17 interactive feedback poll. We're asking, do you agree with Dr. Erickson and Dr. Masihi's ideas that people in Kern County should return to school and work immediately? So we want to know. We're going to be asking this all day long. You can call or text us at 888-4617. Press 1 if you agree, 2 if you do not. And you can also text, tweet, email, or Facebook us your comments. Once again, our interactive feedback phone line is 888-4617. We will be airing those comments and the voting results coming up at 5:30. Meantime, across the state right now, we're talking about Governor Gavin Newsom as he announces an increase in testing for areas across the state. You know what? Let's see. Governor Gavin Newsom is announcing new testing sites. Some of those could be coming here to Kern County. I'm going to have to send it back to you in studio, Alex.
All right, Maddie, Governor Newsom explained that expanding testing is key when it comes to reopening our state, and the state is set to receive more than 350,000 testing swabs from the federal government. 100,000 are set to arrive by the end of this week, and state leaders also announced 86 new testing centers in communities that are predominantly black, brown, and rural. State health officials confirm our state is also looking forward to having 1.5 million antibody tests in the near future, but we still have to wait for FDA approval. And one of those new testing sites is coming to East Bakersfield. 5th District Supervisor Leticia Perez made the announcement yesterday following the governor's update. People will be able to receive free tests at the Richard Prado Senior Center on Mount Vernon Avenue and Ridge Road. That's near Kern Medical Center and East High School. Supervisor Perez joined us on Zoom for an interview last night on 17 News at 5. She says her district is densely populated and under-resourced.
We are service workers, farm workers, frontline workers, as you know, first responders, and a lot of those folks do not have access or ability to test and haven't really been given a clear story about what to do.
Data shows Latino and black communities across the country have been hit hardest by the virus. Perez says people who are tested can maintain social distancing, will not have to leave their cars, then they will get their results sent to their phone within 24 to 48 hours. They hope to have the facility up and testing by April 30th.
The time now is 5:11. President Trump signed his executive order yesterday barring some immigration into the United States. It stands to affect thousands of people overseas seeking to come to the country. Trump says the order will ensure that unemployed Americans will be first in line for jobs as the economy reopens. He said it would also preserve health care resources for American patients. The Migration Policy Institute, a nonpartisan think tank, estimates that the order will block about 52,000 green cards over the 60-day period that it's in effect.
Still to come this morning on Sunrise, the coronavirus has made an impact on the sports world, with entire seasons canceled or postponed and fans barred from stadiums.
But today is a big day in football. It's draft day. We introduce you to one NFL hopeful from the Golden Empire. Welcome back. The time now is 5:21. The NFL draft kicks off tonight, and for the third consecutive decade, a quarterback from Kern County is expected to be taken in the first or second round. 17's Taylor Schaub has more on Liberty High grad Jordan Love.
Good morning. Scouts across the country will tell you that former Liberty High star and Utah State QB Jordan Love is a coach's dream. But his story, as we learned, goes well beyond the field. With a Valley title, state playoff runs, and a decorated collegiate career, many may think Jordan Love's had a charmed football life.
This is what I feel like I was, meant to be doing, is just playing football.
But the White Lines started as a sort of refuge for a boy battling through a tragic loss.
Feels really good to be back.
Playing to honor his late father, a Bakersfield police sergeant who tragically took his life in the summer of 2013.
Just getting me started in the game and teach me a lot of things growing up and just keep me involved in sports,
Quickly becoming the starter at Liberty High School under Coach Brian Nixon.
It gave him an outlet. It gave him a time to get away, to focus on other things.
Who helped guide Jordan to a Division I scholarship at Utah State.
That was just a dream back then, but now, it's becoming a reality, so it's pretty crazy.
Nixon recalling the moment he knew Love was meant for something special.
I think at our awards banquet, he had left early, and we ended up FaceTiming him during his time to get talked about, and we joked and said, he could be the next guy from Bakersfield playing on Sundays.
And while his playing career saw highs and lows in college, the Bakersfield native is now considered a top prospect in this year's NFL draft.
Being through some adversity in my life, when I think of football and different adversity, obviously you face different adversity playing sports, but for me it's just, it's a game I love, and I think of it like I've been through real stuff in life that this stuff is just fun.
And as the calendar continues to flip and the weeks turn to days and days to hours, that call becomes less of a distant dream and more of a certain reality.
It's going to kick in Thursday night. I think that is really like real, but no, it's pretty crazy.
And I had the chance to talk to Jordan just a couple of days ago. He'll be surrounded by Coach Nixon and his immediate family for the draft tonight. In Southwest Bakersfield, Taylor Schaub, 17 News.
I think a lot of people are going to be watching and rooting for him as well. Good luck to him. We can't wait to see where he ends up. Still ahead this morning on Sunrise, it looks like a game, and it's going viral on social media platforms like Instagram. But law enforcement's warning you, it's a scam. What you need to watch out for next.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. It is 5:26, and don't be fooled by social media. An old scam has resurfaced, promising hundreds of dollars for all who buy in. But police say it's too good to be true. Here's 17's digital reporter Karen Cruz-Orduña with the details.
This scam, sometimes known as the Blessing Loom or Circle game, convinces 8 people to join to make an easy $800. But there is a catch. New people must be constantly recruited in order for the original 8 members to receive their payout. In other words, 64 people would have to join the circle, pay a $100 entry fee, and pay out the original 8 members with $800. This keeps multiplying until the system collapses and people lose money. Bakersfield Police says this scheme is illegal. You can watch the full story on our website, kget.com. For 17 News, I'm Karen Cruz-Orduña.
Oil prices rebounded yesterday after huge losses earlier this week. After a volatile trading session, oil jumped 40% at its high. The U.S. benchmark West Texas Intermediate rose 19% and closed at $13.78 per barrel. The U.S. is still dealing with oversupply, though. There's no room to store oil because fewer people are driving and flying. On Monday, the WTI contract for May delivery hit negative territory. Kern County's local blend is still low. It's up 77 cents at about $14 per barrel. The county discussed this yesterday. Oil production factors into the county's calculations for some property tax values, but they don't set the values until January 1st. Coming up the next half hour on Sunrise, we could soon see more loans for small businesses as lawmakers vote to extend the Paycheck Protection Program today. We'll explain coming up after the break.